following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your
or I don't care. However you want to start it. How do you start things? You blow the whistle, you say go on your mark, get set. Happy football season, boys and girls. Happy Chiefs versus Lions. See the big boss running around here nervous yesterday? Travis Kelce not ready to go. No Chris Jones. Well, maybe no Travis Kelce. Maybe no Kadarius Toney. Super Bowl champs fans are a little nervous. Are they going to be okay? How's everything going to go? How's your fantasy football team? It's just kind of a weird, different. Oh, and an NBC Thursday night, I think. Not just an Amazon Thursday. Yeah, it's off and running. What's up? If you're Nick Bosa, life's grooving. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. Happy football season, boys.
What'd it do?
You all right?
Good.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, you got soccer tonight, huh?
I'm working tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, JJ's voice of Global Women's Soccer, so he's got the big match against.
Keep us on Stadium, if you'd like.
Yeah.
At halftime.
Yeah. Catch JJ up. Who you got tonight?
With primetime Colorado coming to town.
Prime's coming to be here. Coach Prime's going to be here with the Colorado Buffs.
It's all about Colorado football.
You know, Danny always goes out and has a football team watch the Global Women's Soccer team, and he brings the football team out. I mean, isn't Coach Prime bringing his football team down to watch the Colorado Buffalo women's soccer play the Lobos tonight?
That's exactly what they're doing.
That's what I heard.
I mean, you're going to have both football teams sitting on the sideline. Coach Prime's going to be there giving the pregame speech to the Lady Buffs. Coach Prime's coming to town? Is that what you just said? Deion's going to be here?
It'll be primetime football.
He's going to be halftime guest on the Stadium Network?
Not primetime.
Is he your halftime guest? Is that what you said? That's really
Margot
good.
Clark or Sophia Roberts are a halftime guest.
All right.
2 great Lobos.
You said primetime? That's pretty good. $170 million over 5 years with $122.5 guaranteed. Get your attention. You know, I get to a point, and maybe you're there. I don't even know. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's just numbing. But $170 million for 5 years, or $34 million per year for Nick Bosa, who may play for the 49ers come Sunday. The richest contract ever for an NFL defensive player. He was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, holding out, hoping to secure a new deal. Well, he held out, and he secured a new deal. I'm not surprised they got it done. I don't even know if I'm surprised at numbers anymore. Good for him. He got to miss training camp and didn't have to go deal with all that crap, and now he just gets to go play football. Aaron Donald was the highest paid at $31.66 average annual pay. Surprised you at all, the numbers, or is, I mean, it was just here, how much do you want? All right, we'll fill in the blank.
Not surprised at all with the San Francisco 49ers, how they're constructed. It is invest in your elite talent because you're paying a quarterback salary of your starting quarterback the last pick of the draft. And so this is why you can have Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Nick Bosa and on down the line.
They don't get to do that next year. Everybody's getting paid. Like their salary cap's going to blow up here pretty soon. They still have a rookie deal for the last pick of the draft on a quarterback, so they still get a deal there. But this is kind of all in for them, isn't it, this year? Because their salary cap gets different next year. It's going to get, they get all these guys getting paid, and you're not going to be able to pay everybody the amount of money that everybody wants. And so this is kind of an all-in year for the Niners, isn't it?
It is. You can restructure, but it's going to get to a certain point where there's no one left to restructure. They just did it with George Kittle and Trent Williams. And you can always find money in the NFL because it's signing bonuses, convert money, and then magically your cap opens up, which was they're able to do. But the pressure's on, and this is where we look back at that Trey Lance trade and not hitting on a quarterback. Now, I don't know if it's overcompensating for Trey Lance or they actually believe it. But the word out of San Francisco is the team essentially picked Brock Purdy too. It's like the team believes in Brock Purdy. The players believe in Brock Purdy. I don't know if that is them just overcorrecting for things not working out with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, but we'll see because Brock Purdy has to be good for this team to have a chance.
Do you believe in him?
I can't say I believe in Brock Purdy after just 7 games. They were 7 really good games, and his playoff numbers were really good for a rookie starter. But to just have this blind belief in Brock Purdy, I don't think you can.
Do you believe in him?
I'm with JJ on that. He's had a good run so far, but I cannot go out and say I believe in him wholeheartedly.
So I guess the question, and I'll ask myself before I answer, what does believe in him mean? And I guess believe in him in this situation has to mean believe enough to get to the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
And there's no reason, due to his body of work, to not believe in Brock Purdy, is there? I mean, body of work, the 7 games you saw him play in the National Football League. Is there a reason to believe he's not that guy?
The 7 games he played, there was no tape on him, so I just...
Well, there was no tape prior, right? So okay.
So preparing for him kind of gives him that advantage. 7 games, they look great, but now he is the guy. That he's to prove it to me, for me to believe in him, he needs to go out from week 1 and own that offense and really run his team, lead his team, be the guy.
67.1% completion rate. 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So I'm going to tell you, I agree with you guys. And I don't know why I agree with you guys. Because everything I saw, I'm like, damn, dude's pretty good. Now, he's small. I'm going to tell you why we all feel this way. Because he was the last pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. If he was a second-round pick and did that, would you feel differently? If he was even a late first-round pick,
there would probably be different buzz. You are correct. And so how are we handling that innate bias of how we view draft picks?
You know, there was only one Tom Brady. I mean, this is almost the same damn thing, even more extreme. Now, I'm not going to even pretend to tell you he's going to be Tom Brady. Right? But if dude wins the Super Bowl, like we went back yesterday and looked at all the. You give me one of the most mind-boggling stats. The last 15, was it 15?
16
teams who were in the Super Bowl for the first time have not been back or lost in their first. Right, the last 16 teams who went to the Super Bowl,
starting quarterback.
Okay, so the last 16 starting quarterbacks who went to the Super Bowl for their first time and lost that game have not gotten back to the Super Bowl. Just freaking crazy. That's now Jalen Hurts, right?
And Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Bonkers. Not just didn't go back and win, just didn't go back. I mean, Marino was that guy. But we look at him and say, dude's only 6'1", and he's slight, right? He was 220. He doesn't look 6'1", 220 when he's out there. He just doesn't. Well, he doesn't have that rifle arm. Well, he was picked late in the draft, last overall. All that is Tom Brady, right? Now, again, we haven't had Tom Brady since Tom Brady, and we didn't have a Tom Brady before Tom Brady. There's been one of that guy. But if this guy was picked, I don't know, let's just say Derek Carr was first pick of the second round? Somewhere right in there? I think that's where Kaepernick was picked, right around that same area. What if he was picked top of the second round? And he did what he did last year, came out of absolutely freaking nowhere, and won 7 games and took his team to the NFC Championship. And then they said, all right, we're getting rid of that top pick. Would you feel differently about him?
I think we would.
I think so,
we
too.
would. And that's why I think Brock Purdy can be successful because of how talented San Francisco is.
But that's why there's a chance this works.
Yes.
Right? Because we are so, and I don't want to be, and I'm sitting here trying to convince myself it doesn't matter where he was picked. Like I watched dudes come out of nowhere and be really good players. Well, just not quarterbacks, Jeff, except for Tom Brady. So
I know it's Super Bowl. This is a team that's been to the Super Bowl. This team that's appeared in the NFC Championship game last season.
Yeah.
But to add to your conversation, we've seen Tony Romo have a good NFL career.
Undrafted, right?
Undrafted free agent. But now you're putting this guy who is in a better situation than any of those other guys we're talking about outside of Tom Brady.
I would say including Tom Brady. I mean, he was put in a better situation. The Niners right now were better than when
because that was
took
the
over for
beginning
Bledsoe.
of that.
Yeah.
Bill
This is a
Belichick
ready to go
work in New
team,
England.
right? And the Patriots weren't when Drew Bledsoe went down. And if you recall, Brady's first Super Bowl, it was Drew Bledsoe who won the AFC Championship game.
That's pretty ready-made.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. All right, so very, very similar. Yes. But DC, your point, now there's tape on him. Here's the other piece. And this is why it's so big, I think, a year for Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's the boy genius, right? He's past Sean McVay as the smartest young football coach in the NFL, right? I mean, more so than Zach Taylor, more so than Sean McVay. It's the boy genius is Kyle Shanahan, right?
If he gets Brock Purdy to work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If this thing works, you're like, okay. Because McVay did it, right? Got to the Super Bowl.
He did.
With Jared Goff. Won the Super Bowl when he got himself the quarterback he wanted. So he was boy genius, and this thing blew up. Now, their boy genius has gone through Kaepernick, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, and now this guy, Brock Purdy. If this works, he's boy genius. And everybody tells me, oh, hey, Shanahan's a magician with quarterback. Okay. If he makes this work, we're all going to go, okay, I get it, man. Dude's pretty freaking good. If it blows up in his face, do we sit here and just go, the freaking genius took what everybody is telling you is a Super Bowl roster and ran it into the building because he decided to go with Mr. Irrelevant and it doesn't happen? Like, this is a huge year for Shanahan, isn't it?
Shanahan and John Lynch.
Yes, the general manager.
Trying, because they got everything else where you say, man, that's Super Bowl caliber.
And they're paying for it, right? Bosa and Kittle and McCaffrey and down the line, right? Debo.
And
This
they've
is such
gotten
a
by.
big year for them.
They've gotten by at quarterback because they haven't had to pay that quarterback contract. And that's what is fascinating about San Francisco.
If they hit this, if they like this model, if they hit lightning in a bottle with Mr. Irrelevant, it's historically good. It is.
And this is why come NFL draft time, the past draft, I was talking about the bleep the quarterback strategy. Like, do teams just start, like, all right, we have a bunch of first round picks. Let's just get the best talent available and then keep our fingers crossed that our roster will get to a certain point where then just good quarterback play can make us.
You got to have good quarterback play, right? And
do you look at it? This is the one-off right now.
I mean, we're going to know here in about 8, 9, 10 weeks. But do you believe in Brock Purdy? Niner fan, I know you're there. Do you believe in Brock Purdy? The number's 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. Area code 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animal phone line and hotline. Your emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right, we got coming up at 7:30 this morning, Lobo football. He is the starting left guard. He's the young man who you saw wearing the feather in his cap the other day. Lobo offensive lineman Tito Stafford's going to join us 7:30 this morning. Really looking forward to that conversation. 8 o'clock, JJ, Michael Lombardi's going to be with us, former NFL general manager who's got that nice book right there out.
Very interested in this. They're talking to a guy that's worked with Bill Belichick, Al Davis, Bill Walsh in his NFL career, and he's not scared to drop some takes on the NFL.
Looking forward to that. What does he think about Brock Purdy? So that's coming up early in the show. Of course, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports at 8:30 to talk about the first crazy week in football. When we come back, the Saints are down a quarterback going into the season. A quarterback who played in the Mountain West Conference. A quarterback who played in New Mexico Bowl and won is suspended for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. Wait, that guy? Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Incredibly polished, and jump in if I'm mislabeling this the way you felt, but he was the most regimented of all the athletes we met that day, as far as my nutritionist, my trainer, my life coach, right? I mean, just like he had it lined up to get to this moment. This was the guy that this is what my nutritionist had lined up, and like everything was regimented and laid out. So I give you that for context, which makes me believe that there was a supplement that probably his trainer and or nutritionist gave to him that he didn't know. I don't think Jake Haener, I don't know, okay, but just what we know about him and the time that we spent, more so off the when the recorder wasn't going, more so what I learned of Jake when he was here at New Mexico Bowl, and then the time we spent with him. So certainly limited. He didn't feel like a guy he didn't look like a guy that was out just huging up his body. It feels to me like there was an ingredient.
You never know, because every time we hear this, it's steroids, right? That's what people think. Right. Oh, popping steroids. But there's a lot of other things on that list, and you can be careful, but you never know. It could just be an off-season thing where you stop at a vitamin shop or whatever, and you're like, oh, let me go get some of this stuff. And none of that stuff is really regulated. When you're going and getting your protein powders, your creatine, whatever it may be, who knows what's in some of that stuff?
Right.
And was it just one of those off-season things where it wasn't as regimented? Because with as regimented as you just laid him out to be, this was surprising to me.
This one surprised me too, man. I'm not going to lie. This is, and again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend, I know Jake Haener and we're homies. But this one, just because of how focused, right? So, DC, we took out 2 different pairs of sunglasses that year for New Mexico Bowl, right? And just kind of saying, hey, if you were in the game, which would you prefer? And we took these Sutro lights, kind of the shield kind of glass, that the kids are wearing, and then a more conservative pair, and all but JK are like right, the kind of, those are those ones, right? No, I like those. Okay, I mean, he was a straight-laced, really focused, regimented, likable guy, didn't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem about it.
So this one jumped off the page a little bit and really did surprise me. I don't see any updates yet, and I don't know that we will. Maybe we will get something this morning on what you're going to get tonight as far as Travis Kelce. Have you seen anything today?
No.
You'll hear stuff throughout the day about will he play, will he not want to play. Chris Jones won't, and we'll hear from Chris Jones later in the show. Chris Jones said, I just want to raise. I just want to raise. How have I let my team down? It's not like when you're at your job and you ask for an extension, you ask for a raise. You're not letting anyone down. Who are you letting down by asking for a raise? All I'm doing is asking for a raise. It's pretty simple. I don't know that it is that simple, but that's where he is. All right, when we come back, Lobo football tonight, or today, we're going to talk to one of their offensive linemen, a starting guard and guy who I thought had a pretty nice game last week. How is this offense? Have they hit a wall yet? Are they ready to go? How do they feel? How are they coming out? I'm really excited to talk to a guy who's in the trenches, who came over and earned himself a starting spot on that offensive line at 6'5", 335. We're going to catch up with Tito Stafford of the Lobos. That is next as they get ready to play Tennessee Tech this weekend. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Saturday for the opener. Lobos open up the home schedule Saturday, University Stadium. 6:02 will be the official kickoff time. Get out there early, enjoy the tailgate. Should be a good day. New Mexico against Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech. I got a couple buddies who are going out of town. If for some reason you're not able to get there, I will have the call with former Lobo linebacker George Carter on the Mountain West Network, and of course Rob and Don Trell over on News Radio KKLB. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. So much has been put this season on that offensive line. And look, you get it. Everything starts on the offensive line. How good are they? Can they keep the quarterback clean? Can they open holes for those young running backs? And I think after watching game one, I think you get a better feel about what this offensive line does. And one of the big guys in the middle, a guy who got a lot of FaceTime on the broadcast on ESPN last week when they played at Texas A&M, was a 6'5", 335-pound senior. He'll start at left guard, Tito Stafford, and Tito joins us this morning on The Sports Animal. Good morning, Tito. How you living?
Good morning. I'm chilling. What about yourself?
Life's good, man. Appreciate you spending some time with us early this morning before practice. All right, you come out of that first game, and I'm going to guess, and I don't know this for a fact, at Alabama State, you probably didn't play in front of 100,000 people. Is that the biggest crowd you ever played in front of last week?
Yes, that's one of the biggest crowds. I played at Alabama State. We had money games, so we played Auburn and Florida State. But as far as the niceness of the equity and the niceness of in the environment, Texas A&M was one of a kind.
All right, so you come out of that game, and look, the score was what the score was, but you've looked at the tape. How do you feel the way your unit played, the offensive line played against what probably was the best defensive front you're going to see all year?
Yeah, yes, sir. We just went out there we went out there and just was more physical. We just brought the fight to them. I love where we're at, and I love where we're heading. Like I said, we bringing the dog to them. We bringing the fight. We're not taking the punch. We throwing the first punch, and however it goes, we go keep punching and keep punching. So seeing these guys keep going and not give up and fight to the last second, I love where we're at, and I'm excited for where we'll be.
So Tito, when you say that, and help Lobo fan a little bit, right? Because if they didn't see the game, they saw the final score. What specifically do you feel good about coming out of that game? I mean, obviously you fought, and Coach was talking about at the end of the game, you put those guys on their back. What did you guys see or feel that gives Lobo fan the reason that they should feel confident moving forward?
Yeah, it's just the way we controlled the ball and handled the ball, controlled the field, controlled the line of the scrimmage, and like you said, we will not see a front or see a team like that just in general. So knowing that we was hanging and banging with the biggest of the biggest, just knowing that going into the conference and going to what we playing, it's fair game, and now we got the ups now. Now we feel we have the confidence to go and handle what we handle. So running the ball and handling the ball and the amount of possession, the amount of time in the possessions that we had, we know that we are a good unit as an offense and as an offensive line.
He's the Lobo offensive lineman Tito Stafford with us this morning on the Sports Animal.
Tito, how has Albuquerque been treating you so far? You're a kid that spent time in Florida growing up, some time in Mississippi, and now you're all the way out here in the Southwest. What has the transition been like for you?
Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's Albuquerque treat me really well. It's the love here. It's the love in the ABQ. And you wake up every day and just see mountains. Just feel like I'm in a living wallpaper. You know, you look at a computer wallpaper and you see the mountains and stuff. So it's just every day it's like it's excitement because it's something I'm not used to. So it's every day I just know like I'm here for a purpose and I'm here for a reason. And I say the city, it's love. Everywhere I go, everywhere it is, it's just love. It's no envy. It's no down talk. It's pride and it's want and it's will too.
And with that, why is the beauty of nature something that means something to you? Why you put a feather in your helmet? What is it about the beauty of the nature that's important to you?
Yeah. So I actually, one of my teammates from Alabama State, he up here too with me. Me and him one day, I seen him with a feather in his helmet. He was, and I was like, man, I love like the beauty of nature. Just looking down, if you look down, sometimes you will see a feather, a perfectly nice feather, something that some people will hang in museums, and you just look down and see a bird or up here a road runner had just dropped it. And it's just like, and I stuck it on my helmet when I was in Alabama State, and it's just been like a little good luck charm to me. It's like a big good luck charm to me. So every day I just made sure I kept up that tradition.
He's Tito Stafford. So you saw him, if you watched the Louisville game against Texas A&M last week, the young man with the feather in his hat. So I got a couple of things on that, and I appreciate you explaining why you do that, because I think the guy on ESPN, I think he just said, well, he loves nature. Oh, that's not exactly it. How do you get the feather to stay? Man, you're going hat to hat all night long, all day long. So how does the feather stay in the hat? And is it the same feather? Where do you get the feather to put in your helmet every week?
Yeah, and once again, like I say, the beauty of nature is just every day as I'm walking to the complex or I'm walking to the stadium, you just look down and you'll see a new feather. So Frank actually found one when we got to Texas A&M that Friday, and he just stuck it in. And where I have the top of my helmet, with the new helmets, it's a part where you can, where the bottom of the feather, you can stick it to the top of the helmet. And with me going face mask to face mask, I really want to find myself getting hit on the top of my helmet. So it usually stay in the whole game or the whole practice.
When did you start that? Has this been something you've done for a long time? Is this new? How did this start? Why did you do it?
Yeah, like I said, me, Jeremiah, Bill Crosby we was all at Alabama State. We've been doing this I've been doing this since like my freshman year, sophomore year of college.
Yeah. What is it with you guys from Alabama State here? Bill was on with us last week, and he scored a touchdown. You're on with us this week. You're going to have a great game. It's just kind of the karma that's going to come out of this show. But did you guys come together? How did you guys end up at New Mexico? How did you specifically?
Yeah, so Jeremiah Hickson, he actually got up here. He actually got up here in January. So when he was, we all knew, like, we reached our point at ASU. We all came in together, and we reached it with a new coaching staff, and, everything is just outgrown. Like, you just outgrown, I say reached our ceiling at Alabama State. So we all just hit the transfer portal. Jeremiah was actually up here in the spring, so he was telling us, like, man, it's beauty out here, man. It's love out here. It's a new culture out here. Just come take a visit. Just come. And he was stressing it to us, like, just come take a visit. You will see what it is. So when we actually took a visit, like, me and Bill, we had other offers. Well, we all had other offers. To where we took visits, and it felt like high school again. Like we went to different colleges, it felt like I was getting recruited as a high school recruit again. So when we came up here, it just felt natural. Like it felt like it was just us three kicking it in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Like it didn't feel like we are 1,000 miles away from home because we have us being around each other. It just feel like it's a home away from home. Like we don't even feel the 1,000 miles don't even fit until you think about it. It don't really even feel like it don't feel how long it actually is. So when we got up here, it just felt natural. Like it felt like everything that I seen, everything I got on that weekend, I knew that it wouldn't be a change or be a difference once we got up here. So once we got up here, like I said, when we got up here, it just been the love grew even deeper. The love grew even bigger. So
He's a big, lovable left guard. He's Tito Stafford with us for a few more minutes here on the Sports Animal.
And Tito, you look at who you guys are able to work with. Of course, your offensive line coach, Cam Blankenship, and then someone that's had NFL experience in Byron Bell working with this staff. How have those guys helped you so far this year?
Yeah, they hold us to a standard. They hold me and me specifically. They hold me to a standard, a higher standard than standards that I had that I didn't even have for myself. So they push us every day, push me every day. And we don't get comfortable. We don't get complacent like we were saying at camp when we coming out of camp, and we had the high praises of everybody saying how the group got together and this and that. We didn't put us in a situation where we can get comfortable and say, yeah, we arrived. Nah, they keep the fire and they keep the burn under us every day. They let us, and especially with Coach Bell and Coach Cam, they let us know, like, as far as what the next level, how the next level treat situations, and how the next level prepare for certain situations. So we just, like I said, we hold to a higher standard than what it has been, and a higher standard that I haven't even had in my time.
Hey Tito, how's the offense? Have you guys hit a wall? Are you just getting started? Because you got 11 games in front of you. I know coming out of camp, man, it's a grind, and then going after what you had to deal with last week. So where is this offense, both mentally and then as far as ready to perform?
Like I say, no wall. We still going the wall, and we whatever wall it came, we broke through it. We know that last week was a tough loss. It was a tough loss for sure coming to that game. We did not expect to. We was not coming in expecting to lose. We came in that game with high expectations of what we were going to do. So, but knowing that situation and knowing that was the first game out, first time us five played together, played with each other. We just know that it's hope, and we know that like it's time to take that next step to let us know to own what we do and own the conference, own everything we do moving forward. So,
man, I got one more for you, because most of us are never going to know what it's like. I got you listed at 6'5", 345. Like, what is fighting weight for you? What's the ideal weight? Because I mean, I don't know that I'll ever know 345, and I promise I'll never know 6'5". So what's ideal playing weight for you at left guard?
Yeah, so I actually just got up. My ideal weight, I want to get down between 315 to 310 to 320. Okay. I'm working on that right now. I'm working as we doing extra cardio, doing everything to get down there. So I know half mid-season I should be at my ideal weight, but yeah, around 310 to 320.
Right on. All right, you taking feathers? Like, if people find feathers, should they send them over to you, or you good?
It was crazy. Like when I first did it, people actually thought when I first did the first few days of camp, people used to come up to me like, "Hey, you got something stuck in your head." I'm like, "No, don't touch it. Like, don't touch that." So now it's actually a funny thing. If someone find one, they'll see me like random. It'll be a random person on the team, so cool. A kicker or a kicker or like a long snapper. They'll be like, "Man, my boy Dirk or Aaron." They'll be like, "Man, I found a feather for you," and it'd be funny. They'll drop it off to my locker or something.
That's so cool. I'll stick that feather in your hat and go keep winning games. Appreciate the time. Really enjoyed the conversation, Tito. Good luck this weekend. Have a great season. Stay healthy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a nice day.
You as well.
Go Lobos.
Tito Stafford sticks a feather in his cap because he loves the beauty of nature. Wakes up every morning, looks at Albuquerque, and it feels like it's computer wallpaper. That's how beautiful it is to him. I want that perspective, and it actually helps me. I mean, how about that? It kind of, I don't know, sometimes you got to step out of your own little world to realize what people see about the place we live, and it's go, wow, this is a pretty cool spot. It's a pretty special spot.
It absolutely can be. And how about that Alabama State connection? That could be the difference for the Lobos offense this season.
You can respond to what you heard from Tito Stafford at 505-246-0610. Stick around for a few more minutes as well, because coming up at the top of the hour, which means 8 o'clock, Michael Lombardi, former NFL general manager who just wrote a book that is called Football Done Right. He's going to join us with all kinds of insights in regards to the National Football League, which, by the way, kicks off tonight right here on the Sports Animal. So we'll do that coming up. I got a lot of thoughts on what Tito said, and I want to hear what you say. We'll do that next on 95.9 FM on AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football. Albuquerque's known for a lot of things, the mountains, the beauty, the computer wallpaper that our landscape is, but it's not known all the time for safety and security. And that's why I suggest you call International Protective Service, IPS. Aaron Jones started this business in Fort Hills back in 2006 to protect homes and businesses. Now he's looking for a little help. And if you are a former officer, a retired officer, police officer, you've got military or security experience, Aaron wants to talk to you and maybe join IPS. Make our city a better place to live. Fill out an application at ipsglobal.com. They've got world-class professionals who will train you to handle just about any situation. You'll work for a great company, and you'll be doing wonderful things for our community. If you're interested, and I hope you are, 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420, or just go online at ipsglobal.com. Join IPS if you want to make Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
This report is sponsored by Generator.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet.
505-246-0610 if you want to get in. 888-922-0610. All right. Odds are out. Chiefs are the consensus Super Bowl favorites, according to Vegas. Caesars got them at 6-1 to win the Super Bowl. Mahomes 6-1 to win the MVP. You know who number 2 is to win the MVP according to Caesars?
Burrow.
Joe Burrow, 7-1. Doesn't mean anything. You know who the number 2 betting favorite after the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl are? Chiefs are 6-1.
Probably Eagles.
Eagles 15-2. Niners 9-1. Bills 9-1. Bengals 10-1. Cardinals and Texans are about 200-1. If you really like you some long shots. I don't know, man. I don't know that I feel this is going to be a chalk here. I'm. What did I pick yesterday? Who did I pick?
Seattle, Cincinnati.
The hell was I doing?
It's not that crazy.
I just don't know that I'm totally bought into the Niners. I'm not. I know the track record that you gave me yesterday. I know how teams that lose in the Super Bowl tend to do the following year. And I see no rhyme nor reason for that, by the way. Like, I've sat here and tried to explain it, and I don't understand it, right? You're built, and I guess everybody wants to get paid, and you can't keep it all together, but you didn't win. But I see no rhyme nor reason to the whole thing. But history is so hard to go against, right? It happens. It happens for a reason.
So it makes someone, my initial thought is, Philadelphia coming out of the NFC, not feel good at all. Because of history, the last 16 quarterbacks, their first appearance in the Super Bowl, they never went back. If they lost,
I mean, there's something to it, right?
That would put Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia Eagles in that exact situation. And in the NFC, I don't think Seattle's crazy. If Geno Smith, he has enough offensively to stay at his level, even if there's some regression in his accuracy. Like, if he doesn't lead the NFL in passing accuracy, he goes from 69% to 65%.
Yeah.
That's still a very good number in that offense, and I think Seattle is one. I saw a couple people yesterday putting New Orleans in the Super Bowl, so that shows you
New Orleans
how
is really
dramatically different people feel about how wide open the NFC is.
Yeah, New Orleans is an interesting one because it's another roster that I think people look at and say, wow, their defense is good. Olave, Thomas, Kamara. They've got weapons. That doesn't sound ridiculous to me if Derek Carr is what I think Derek Carr is.
The efficient quarterback with weapons in that offense, a winnable division for the New Orleans Saints. And also to go back to the AFC and a team that, we thought just pressure in the window and whose time is it now? Look at Baltimore. And I'm thinking about the Ravens and Lamar Jackson in the postseason. That defense is always going to be good. Without Lamar Jackson, you saw what they were doing to Cincinnati in the postseason last year. The game came down to the very end between those teams. But that's someone I'm looking at. And
I love Baltimore this year.
Don't see a lot of Baltimore winning the AFC predictions, but that is one that...
No, didn't Boomer Esiason just say in the CBS Sports Minute that he doesn't see him in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I love... Tell me what you don't like about it. I still think their defense is good. Yeah. All of a sudden, you gave Lamar money and weapons. It feels like that's going to be pretty good.
And that's the thing with the AFC, too, is while we think the NFC is open, so is the AFC, even with how good you think it is. Well, that means absolutely that Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh could go on a run. If Deshaun Watson plays good football, Cleveland's in there. The New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills, a healthy Miami Dolphins team offensively. Oh, yeah, Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers. Those are legit teams to pick to win the conference.
Yeah. I think it's why I just don't know that I think it's going to be chalk this year. I know it's hard to look at Kansas City, and now that they're injured a little bit and they're beat up and they're going to face some adversity, but I just think there's so many good teams and so many things got to go the right way. You can make an argument. You just did. You can make an argument for so many teams. I mean, if you were betting in Vegas, would you bet chalk right now? Would you take Niners, Eagles, or Chiefs or Bengals in the Super Bowl?
I don't think I'd take any of those four.
So you don't think it's going to be any of those four teams in the Super Bowl?
I'm with you. I don't think this is a chalk year. I think someone surprises us. JJ and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. I had myself convinced the Ravens were coming out of the AFC. I don't know if I'm still there, but I see that argument. I really do. And NFC's wide open. I like the idea of the Saints. I like the idea of Seahawks. I think both of them are primed for a run. I think this is going to be an awesome year. And at the end, I think we're going to see some new faces.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. We got a lot to do today when we get back, but we're going to talk some football. The book is called Football Done Right, and it was written by former NFL general manager, three-time Super Bowl winner Michael Lombardi. And he gets into a lot of different things. Let's talk some football with him on the day that we kick off the season. 8:30, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports is going to be with us. Really excited to talk to him about his thoughts on Week 1. And then Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great, is going to be with us coming up at 9:30. We'll talk a little hoop, world basketball, the World Cup of Basketball's finishing up. Regular season's in like 57 days in the NBA. Kenny's got some things going on as well. Lot to do this morning. Get in when you can at 505-246-0610. Michael Lombardi next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home from Monday night, Thursday night, and all those nights. Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Chiefs and Lions open it up tonight. You probably placed your bets. You got your fantasy teams ready? What are you doing with Travis Kelce? You wait until if he's game time. If he's game time and says he's playing, are you playing him?
You have to.
Do you?
It's your first round pick.
Yeah, he is. So I got to play him. Boy. All right. I mean, I'm looking at it. And I'm like, what do I do with it? I got him on one team, and do I put him in there? All right. We also talked with Tito Stafford, Lobo lineman. Jeff just hit me with a text on Lobo Football, JJ, and it sounds a little bit like you. It says, what I saw last week, I'm more worried about Lobo defense. I do believe they're going to score points, a lot of points. So I thought they did okay against A&M, tough defense. I'm okay with us winning 43-35. I mean, winning is winning, right? I don't think anybody will have a problem if you win every week 43-35. I don't know if you can do that. Defense is going to have to be better. But he's like you, man. He's concerned about the defense.
Yeah, for New Mexico, can the offense in one season with all the changes take enough steps forward where that can be the focal point of the team as the secondary figures it out? I think the defensive line played better than I expected. There's solid production at linebacker, but outside of Dante Martin, there's a lot of dudes in that secondary that have to not just get experience, but you guys start turning that experience into production right now.
Yeah. This will be a get healthy week. And then, Diego Pavia will come in and challenge him.
Yep.
And that the transfer quarterback from Clemson at Massachusetts is going to challenge him the next week. And then you're going to go into league play and you're going to get challenged by a bunch of quarterbacks of this league who, I don't know, what I saw from Fresno State looked pretty good. What I saw from Wyoming looked pretty good.
They're going to be
scoring
good.
Points, yeah.
Hawaii in the second half of these games has looked really good.
Yep. Yep. By the time you get them, I think they're going to have to get better in on the defense. A lot of Lobo fans feel kind of how you do in regards to, okay, the offense looked better. Well, and then there's others who didn't watch the game who said they scored 10 points. How much freaking better did they look, right?
Yeah, and it's hard because you're not in a position where you're going to compete in that game, and it's going to. I don't know if you're ever going to be in a position where you're competing against Texas A&M or LSU on their schedule, but that's where they were. And when you look at the offense in 2021, the Lobos, when they played that game at Texas A&M, they were shut out 34-0. They had 122 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I remember that was a rough day.
They
could do nothing.
222 yards of total offense last Saturday.
What was their time of possession? Just out of curiosity.
It was 30-something minutes.
So they had the ball plenty of time. But, yeah. I always think time.
It's almost like a four corners offense at that point.
I always think time of possession is one of the most overrated stats, period. All right, NFL tonight here on The Sports Animal. It's the Chiefs and the Lions. It'll kick off what it should be a really fun season. And I know you've all been looking forward to it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck have been looking forward to talking to our next guest for quite some time. He's got a beautiful new book out, Football Done Right. He has been an NFL general manager. He's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. He is one of the most respected voices when it comes to the National Football League. Michael Lombardi joins us this morning on The Sports Animal. Good morning, Michael. How you living?
I am living great. Thank you. I'm living awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on. Love Albuquerque. I think I drove through there last spring.
You didn't stop by and say hello.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, we could.
I wish I would have. I'd known I would have. I stayed at a great old hotel downtown. It was awesome.
I bet I know which one it was. I could have got us a tea time. Probably knew a restaurant. See, next time. I love the book, and this is just such a good time of year. When you look at opening day, do you look at chalk? Do you look at like backstories? Because we were just having this conversation, and we all seem to feel, while the Chiefs are the betting favorite, and it's the Eagles and whatever, we all kind of feel this is kind of wide open as we hit opening day. Do you feel the same way about this season?
Always. I think it's the season of perpetual hope, as the little Kevin said in Home Alone. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and how you start doesn't always matter how you finish. And teams that get better during the season and improve and play their best football in November, December is what matters the most. So, yeah, I love it. I mean, it's just incredible. I think back to every part of my life when I was a kid being excited for opening day. We only got 2 or 3 games on television. And then when, I got into the league and I was working for the 49ers, my first game was in the Silverdome against the Detroit Lions in 1984, and Ray Wersing kicked a field goal with no time left on the clock, and we won the game. And I just think about all those times and how much I enjoyed and loved football and loved the start, knowing that we got 5.5 months of just sheer delight.
I gotta kick this around, and maybe you'll have some insight to this, because I can't make rhyme or reason of it. There is a stat that the last 16 quarterbacks who went to the Super Bowl and lost in their first time in the Super Bowl never got back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, no, it's insane. I think of Dan Marino against the Niners.
The one that was insane was Marino, right?
Yeah.
I write about this in Football Done Right. Think about this, though, guys. Marino went 4 years with the winningest coach of all time in the NFL and one of the greatest players of all time in the NFL himself without making the playoffs. Forget about going to the Super Bowl. He went 4 years without making a playoff.
It's insane. No, I remember when he lost to the Niners in his rookie year. Well, he'll be back a bunch of times. Don't worry about it. And he never got back. And when Montana said a couple of weeks ago that he's the best quarterback ever, and people lost their mind. Like, if you watched Marino, it's amazing that he never got back with Mark Duper and Mark Clayton and some of those teams and Shula. You can't take it for granted. That's why I look at it and it's like it's always wide open.
It always is, and you can't take it for granted because injuries come into it. Look, I write about this in the book, too. One of the greatest teams ever assembled by Mike Holovac, the former general manager of the Houston Oilers, were the Houston Oilers, Love You Blue team. I mean, they had Pro Bowlers on every single phase of it, and they only got to one conference championship game with Warren Moon at quarterback. I mean, it is so hard, and the way you ask the question and how hard it is, this is what drove me to write the book, because Marty Schottenheimer has 200 wins, and they're hard to get. He's one of 9 human beings on planet Earth that have come to planet Earth. Over the 500 gentlemen who've called themselves head coaches in the NFL. He's one of 9 that got to 200 wins, and he can't even get a sniff to get in the Hall of Fame.
Michael Lombardi, former NFL GM, Football Done Right is the book, joining us on The Sports Animal. And to that point, when we talk about the great quarterbacks, we have such a fascinating story this season with the San Francisco 49ers going in on Brock Purdy. They're spending money on elite talent everywhere else. What do you think about that 49er situation?
Well, they got lucky, right? So they thought Trey Lance was going to be their answer, and they were eventually going to have to pay him a fairly significant contract. It's hard in a cap era to pay everybody. You got to pick and choose. You can't be at the buffet line and just put everything on your plate. So you got to pick and choose as you go through it. And Bosa is one of the best players. I said this on my show, The Lombardi Line on VSiN. I've said this on my podcast, GM Shuffle. There was never a doubt in my mind Bosa was going to get paid. He's one of the top players in the league. He is one of the best defensive players in the league. So it's easy to pay him. Where you get into trouble is when you overpay a good player, not when you overpay a great player. You don't mind overpaying greatness. Where you get in a lot of trouble is when and we see this in the NBA all the time, when you overpay just a good player, and that good player can't really put wins in the win column.
Well, and you'll get with decisions between now at the quarterback position, one of the fascinating ones with the recent news, Caleb Williams, his father, coming out in an interview in GQ magazine talking about, hey, my son might stay in school if he doesn't like the potential number one pick. And we're looking at the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. What does Arizona do with Kyler Murray this season?
Well, I wouldn't put him on the field because the way the contract is structured, he has what we call an injury guarantee for his money next year. Okay, so, and on the third day of the league year, that injury guarantee becomes skill and injury, meaning they can't cut him. And so if you put him on the field and he gets hurt again, you can't cut him, and you're stuck with $58 million guaranteed on a quarterback that you're not sure is going to be your quarterback. So I think it would behoove them to not rush that decision to put him on the field and then make the decision based on who's available in the college draft. Do they want to go with Drake May? Do they want to go with Caleb Williams? Do they want to go with Michael Penix? There's a lot of good young college quarterbacks out there, probably for the first time in a long time.
Who knows what Shedeur Sanders is going to be? He's Michael Lombardi.
Exactly.
Former NFL general manager. He's won 3 Super Bowls. The book is Football Done Right. You just said something. You don't get in trouble by paying great players. You get in trouble paying good players. Kind of made me think of the running back situation. Running backs, it seems, and we all get it, right? We totally understand it. If I was a GM, I'd do it the way they're doing it too. And you've got guys like Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. They want to get paid. We look at a game, is a running back worth something? Sure he is. But I guess from where you are, I can find another running back. It's been proven. The leading rushers don't normally go to the Super Bowl. How did we get to that spot with running backs, which is one of the most high-profile, front-facing positions in the game?
Well, we changed the rules, and we allowed the quarterback to not get hit. You can't touch a receiver. You know, Jim Brown, as I write about in the book, was the 4th running back picked in a draft, and he was picked as a fullback. Back then, the game were 2 backs in the backfield. Offensive linemen had to keep their hands close to their chest. They couldn't pass protect. But we changed the rules where there's no longer first, second, or third down. Third down used to be a passing down. Every down's a passing down. And so because of that, the quarterback and throwing the football has become more important than it ever was before. And running the ball doesn't make explosive plays. You can't make explosive plays running. It's hard, right? You need a 20-yard gain to score on a drive. It's like before I came on, you guys were talking about the most overrated stat in football is time of possession.
Yep.
Agreed. You know, it matters what you do with it, not matter how long you have it. But one of the stats that no one talks about is first half point differential, which means how many points you score in the first half to how many points you give up. And the 2 teams that typically lead that category at the conclusion of the season go to the Super Bowl. Last year it was Philly and Kansas City. Why is that? Because when you can play from in front, you can rush the passer. You can take chances on defense. You can put pressure on the quarterback. When you're playing from behind all the time, it's hard. And if you're playing from behind, the last thing you're doing is running the football. That's the last thing you're doing because that's what the defense wants you to do, eat time off the clock. So it's just – and I don't know why people have a hard time understanding it. It's the law of supply of demand. I mean, we live in a capitalistic system. There's way too many running backs out there that has flooded the market. So what happens when the market's flooded with something good? prices come down.
Well, Mike, it's been proven every year. I mean, whether where Terrell Davis come from back in the day, or we're going to find a guy in 4 weeks that everybody's going to be going to get on their fantasy team that they never heard of, and that's going to put them and win their damn game for them. And because you guys have proven that there's really good running backs, and the few that are elite, the few difference makers are very few, and it's probably the most replaceable position in the game.
Right, and unless you want to do what Tennessee did, which is go all in with Derrick Henry, and then your offense is limited, right? You got to run play action. And he's an anomaly, right? He's not, he's been able to carry the ball over 300 times, like 3 years in a row. Rarely does that happen. He's an anomaly. And so the numbers say, look, there have been 24 running back contracts that have gotten second contracts, 24. Only 20 of them didn't make it through the second contract.
And that's
so when you look at those numbers and you sign a guy to an extension, you're saying to yourself, we got no chance to keep this guy.
Michael Lombardi with us here on The Sports Animal. Michael, one of the things, too, we're talking about how wide open it is in the AFC. It's you can name 8 or 9 teams and make a case that they could be an AFC championship team right now with the quarterback play. But I want to focus on a team we're going to see tonight in Kansas City. And, Travis Kelce a little banged up early in the season. No Chris Jones yet. Is there legitimate concern early, or is it Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid? Are they that good where we should not be worried?
Well, I think, to me, one of the things that we tend to overlook is preseason. We say it's meaningless. And to a degree, there is some meaningless to it. But there's a lot of information you can glean on a team basis, not on a player basis. And last summer, when Kansas City was played their 3 preseason games, Mahomes threw the ball 27 times. Kelce had three catches. He averaged 8.6 yards per attempt. This summer, Kelce doesn't play. And we see Mahomes out there attempting 17 passes. He completed 12 of them for a 7.1 yard average. They're not the same team without Kelce. And they're not the same team without Chris Jones. 2 of the 3 best players on their team are going to be gone. As much of a Superman as Patrick Mahomes is, it's hard to carry that team. And they know that. They got to get those guys back. They got to get them healthy. It's going to be hard. Look, it's hard to repeat. It's what Pat Riley talks about, the disease of me. Because when you win, everybody wants to share into the winning. And when you win, you want to get paid. Rightly so. Chris Jones is one of the best players in the league. He deserves to get paid.
Just wants a raise. Just, guys, that's all I'm asking for. Hey, the book is Football Done Right. It is a great read. Man, I could do this for 3-4 hours with you, Mike. This is really, really fun conversation. Appreciate you doing the time with us. How do people get the book? Because I think they're going to really enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much for that. It's kind of you to say. My mother would have never believed I wrote a book, and now I've written 2, so I appreciate you saying that.
My mother wouldn't believe I read one.
Anywhere you get your local books, online or any bookstore, it's going to be available out there to purchase. It's also in Audible form. It's in Kindle form as well.
Yeah, that's how my mom would think I read a book, Audible form. Yeah, because
my mother would have been proud that you said that. Yeah, she would have been really proud. She might not have believed it, but she would have been proud.
Well, be proud of what you did. Appreciate the time. I hope we get to do this again, man. This was really, really good conversation.
Thank you so much.
Just to you, Mike. Michael Lombardi, 3-time Super Bowl champion, and that's fascinating stuff, and it explains a lot. Jerry Palm at 8:30. We're going to talk college football with him from CBS Sports. What a weekend that was. What did he think of what Colorado did? And does he think it's sustainable? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. You're home for Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ozera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Yes, and its comparison was right on. And we see that with so many NBA players. Like, we think they're good, but we get caught up, super max contracts. And that starts affecting you moving forward. And that's a hard line to draw. And I think we're seeing that right now with the running back position. There's good players, but are they great? Is that how you win a championship in the NFL? And it's not.
The running back thing was obvious too, right? I mean, he laid it out. It's funny, we've been talking about this for forever, right? We've talked about this forever, but when a GM lays it out, he says it's just supply and demand, right? We've sat here countless times. What do you mean the running back's not more important than this guy? Not more valuable? Well, you need a good running back. I don't know. Do you? I mean, I think you need a good running back. Do you need a great one? You need good ones. He just said the supply and demand, there's so many of them. That's why they're not getting paid at that clip. He said the game has changed. The quarterback's more important. The running back's not running the ball as much as he used to. You know, in reality, the argument from the GMs is really easy. Hey, back in the day when we were paying running backs, you guys were getting beat up way more. You were carrying the ball 30, 34, 5, 6 times a game. Now, if you carry it 20, we consider that a big work day, right?
Yeah.
We cut your workload because we're throwing the ball more. You're a 2-down back instead of a 3-down back. Yeah, you're getting paid less. Percentage-wise. I mean, it's just kind of what it is. All right, 505-246-0610. Love to have the conversation with you. We're going to have Ryan Lavarnway, former big league catcher, is going to be with us. He's in town calling some games with Josh Sushan on the Isotopes games, and he's going to be here. We're going to talk to him about baseball, and as we come down the stretch. Kenny Thomas is going to be with us at 9:30. Looking forward to that. But coming up next, what did Jerry Palm from CBS Sports think of what went down with Colorado last weekend? Is it sustainable? What are they going to do against Nebraska this weekend? Wrap up that first week of college football with one of the best from CBS Sports, Jerry Palm, next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
The Sports Animal.
Crazy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to open up college football, wasn't it? I mean, Utah making a statement on Thursday, going all the way through Duke, making probably a bigger statement on Monday. Oh, and then the Colorado thing happened. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Let's look back, look forward. He's as good as there is. One of the best over at CBS Sports, and you read him every day. Jerry Palm joins us on The Sports Animal. Good day, Jerry. How you living?
I'm all right. How are you?
We're good. The world's still talking about Deion and Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and everything we saw. A, how shocked were you? And B, is it sustainable?
Well, the answer to B is it remains to be seen, because you don't want to get caught up overreacting to week one.
But
TCU isn't the team that we certainly didn't expect them to be. The team that got all the way to the playoff last year. We thought they'd take a step back. So it's going to be a few more games before we know which team that game said more about. But it's a great win for Colorado for sure. That offense is obviously electric. So there's certainly a lot to see there, in optimism for Colorado, and you got to wonder about TCU a little bit, although they scored quite a bit as well. But I think it's going to be, the end of September before we really have a good feel for both of those teams.
I think it's the biggest winner might have been those who love the transfer portal. What Texas State did with 54, whatever it was, transfers and beat Baylor, which was might have been the biggest upset of the weekend that everybody's not talking about, right? But then with 50 something portal guys, and then Colorado with 80 something and whatever. I keep telling people, man, those of you who aren't on board yet, you either got to get on board or find a different sport to love.
Well, right. And, Clemson kind of shied away from the transfer portal. And, maybe that's cost them a little bit, although they recruit very well. So, if they're not losing a bunch of guys in the portal that they would need to then replace, maybe, you can still win with the guys you have. There are certainly cases of teams that are winning without relying on the transfer portal, and not just in football. So it's, but, that was, Colorado was 1-11. So Deion, took some, drastic moves, and Texas State was not very good in their league last year. And so, people made some drastic moves. Programs like Clemson maybe don't need to be as drastic in the transfer portal. But, they certainly did not finish well at Duke. It's funny because that game could have just as easily been a 2-touchdown win for Clemson. But they couldn't finish inside the 10. And you give Duke's defense some credit for that. But, if they get the field goal and a touchdown, now Duke is playing catch-up. Yep. and Clemson's got all the momentum, and that game could have just as easily been the same score the other way, or a similar score the other way. So it's just, college football is kind of fickle, but you got to give Duke a lot of credit because they made the plays they needed to make to win that game. And, but the thing, about that game is Florida State came out in the second half and mashed LSU.
Yes.
And partly in thanks to one of the receivers they got out of the portal. But Clemson doesn't look, regardless of the outcome of that game, Clemson doesn't look like a team that can compete with Florida State and what they have. And that's a problem that, may show up long term.
And Jerry, you say you can't overreact to week one, and part of it too is the opponents are so drastically different. But it was a good weekend for the Pac-12 overall.
Yeah. Well, who'd they play that week? To me, the win that really stood out was Washington annihilating Boise State. Not that Washington won, but that they won by 30. Yeah. I mean I'm going to wait to see again which team that says more about. Is Washington even better than we think, and we already think they're good? I thought Boise State could compete at the top of the Mountain West. That doesn't look like a performance, even on the road against a team that's a top 10 team. That doesn't look like a performance from a team that can compete at the top of the Mountain West. So that was the most impressive of the wins. But the others, it's great that they're undefeated, but I want to see the bigger games first.
Totally fair. Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, is with us on The Sports Animal.
Well, bigger game, Texas at Alabama this weekend. What do you make of that contest?
Yeah, that should be a great game. We got, Alabama's defense is going to get tested. They weren't quite up to their standard, their usual standard last year. Still better than most, but Alabama's standards are different. They're going to have to try and take away the run. Even though Texas has got a very good quarterback, they still base their offense starting with the running game. And then we'll see what Jalen Milroe can do against a high-quality opponent. He earned the starting job. He played a little bit last year, had some moments last year. He was kind of thrown into it. Now he's had a full camp, practicing with the first team. There was a competitive spot. He won it, and had a pretty good first game, but, that's Middle Tennessee. So, we'll have to see what Alabama can do. I like Alabama. I always like Alabama. Part of it is all the talent they have and faith in Nick Saban. They rarely have two off years in a row, and that last year was an off year for them. So I like Alabama playing at home in this game. But Texas, this is a statement game for them. A lot of people picked them to win their league this year, and they could lose this game and still be the favorite in their league. But they have a chance to say, we're ready to play for a national title, not just a conference title.
There's a sneaky one on the schedule, and I don't know that everybody's going to see at Tulane. Ole Miss going to New Orleans. and so Tulane, outside the last 2 years, Tulane has been, I don't even want to say relatively, they've been irrelevant in most circles outside of the people who care about them. To get Ole Miss to go there, a team that won the Cotton Bowl, beat SC, this is a sneaky good look.
Oh, yeah. And I think Mississippi's in the top 25.
They are. Number 20 versus number 24.
Yeah. So, this is, it's, Mississippi better show up because Tulane is still pretty good. They're now the favorite to be the Group of Five representative again in the New Year's Six game if they don't make the playoff, which seems unlikely. But, it's a real statement game for Tulane. And it's a trap for Mississippi. You've got to really be ready to go because Tulane is good, and they've shown that they can beat good teams, and not just at home. The USC game wasn't at home, and that was a really good USC team.
Yeah, but Caleb Williams said they didn't want to be there, so it doesn't really count. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. You can't read too much into a bowl game, right? That's
I
what
call
we always
BS
say.
On that a little bit.
But, but the confidence that Tulane gets from a game like this has nothing to do with USC wanting to be there.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We talked about Purdue, and I said look out for Fresno State. What
did I say?
Yeah, and you said you're right, and I
look out for Fresno State.
And I said Toledo was going to beat Illinois, and they were a 2-point conversion, a last-second field goal away from that going down. So, and you say, and you're right. I think that Tulane is the front runner for that Group of Five in the New Year's Six. Fresno State looked nice, and I don't know how much they got to do with their schedule. They got Arizona State. Again, not atop of the Pac-12, but if they beat two power conference teams on the road and run the table, I don't know. would that be better than a one-loss Tulane if they lose to Ole Miss?
An undefeated Fresno State is definitely better than a one-loss Tulane team. And maybe a one-loss Fresno State team might be better, depending on who they lose to. But, yeah, Fresno State was impressive. Well, remember, when we talked about them last week, we weren't sure about the offensive skill position guys because they've lost pretty much everybody. But their offensive line was good. Their defense was, despite the fact that Purdue scored 35 points, their defense was still pretty good. I mean, one of Purdue's touchdowns was a kick return. And they had a big play, busted play early in the game offensively. But, Fresno State's defense held up pretty well, and especially in short yardage situations, which said something really about both teams. Purdue's 3 interior linemen were all second string or lower on the depth chart in that game. But Fresno State came out after halftime and had made adjustments and really put the Purdue defense on their heels. And so you got to give them a lot of credit because that's a good team. And, they were always a threat to win the Mountain West. But with the performance Boise gave at Washington, I think you now have to consider them the favorite.
Teddy can coach. He can flat out coach.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all know that.
Yeah.
There was never any doubt about that.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports is with us on the opening drive.
Well, Jerry, from the hype to game to Nebraska at Colorado, it's a taste of the olden days. What are you expecting in that matchup? Yeah, well, Nebraska wasn't very impressive at Minnesota. And that was a slugfest, and it was like 13-10. If Nebraska can ugly the game like that, then they've got a chance to win. If they can't, they could get run because I don't know if they've got enough offense to hang with Colorado. If Colorado's putting 30-something on the board, Nebraska doesn't have a chance. So they're going to have to make this game ugly. I don't think they will. I like Colorado playing with a lot of confidence off of that win, and Nebraska still trying to figure things out.
All right, lastly, you believe I said about 4 weeks ago to JJ, look, I'm not convinced Caleb Williams is coming out. If he doesn't want to go to Arizona, there's a lot of NIL money. NIL's not NFL kind of money, but if he isn't getting what he wants, and he's got more power to dictate where he goes. Daddy fired the first shot the other day. You believe that's real, or is that just hyperbole right now?
I wouldn't say it's not real because, like you said, the NIL money's pretty good. And by the way, I just saw something the other day where Arch Manning is getting more money out of NIL than Joe Burrow is getting from the Bengals.
Yeah, salary-wise, yeah. This year because Joe Burrow got it all up front, so his annual salary this year is more than
yeah. But but that tells you that you can make some decent money if you're good enough in NIL, and Caleb Williams is good enough. So. Yeah, if he doesn't want to go to Arizona. But here's the thing. You got to come out next year, and it might be even worse.
That's right. Look, there's going to be a problem next year, too. 100%. 100%. Enjoy the weekend. Read him every day over on CBSSports.com. Follow him on the Twitter. It's at JP Palm CBS. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. After all these years, I finally got it. Always enjoy it. Jerry, thank you for the time. Have a great weekend.
All right, thanks.
Be well. Jerry Palm, the great Jerry Palm. From CBS Sports. On the Caleb Williams thing, I remember when I said that to you about a month ago, right? And you kind of looked at me and said, no way, right?
Arizona is one of those teams you do not realize how messy things are in that organization.
And is it all the quarterbacks? Was it really all Kyler Murray? And was it all Josh
Rosen?
I almost said Levin. I knew that wasn't right. Was it really all those guys? Totally different guy? Right? I mean, do you want to go there? And if you've got some power and you're making a bunch of money, Caleb Williams is going to get paid. I want you to react to what you heard from Jerry. 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. What Caleb Williams' father said exactly and how to read into that. He's the quarterback at USC. Would he stay another year and not come out and be the number one pick? We'll talk about that when we get back. It's back to school time. You are hectic. You've got a lot going on. And your car's dirty. If your vehicle's nice, if you want to get into it, it's going to make your life better. You spend a lot of time in it. You're going back and forth, work, school, kids. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Have them take care of that for you. They come to you. You don't need to carve out time. You're working. I got 3 hours. I'm going to be at the office. Have them come out and take some of that time and detail your vehicle. Detailing is inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims. Everything you need, like when the car dealers do it. Remember when you took your car off the lot, brand spanking new? That's what this is. And they come to you and do it at your convenience. They also offer a 10% discount for military and for teachers. Learn more and schedule online. It's otsdetailing.com, otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Sports Animal.
You brought up an interesting point with Jerry Palm. And again, if you missed really fun conversation with Tito Stafford this morning. Michael Lombardi, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, general manager, was with us this morning as well. All of that's available for you wherever you get your podcasts and on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on this opening drive and it's all there. Thanks for spending time with us. You got a lot of options and we get it. And super, super thankful that you decide to spend time with us every morning. So I want to get into this. I brought this up a few weeks ago. And I said at the time, there's a chance Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback at USC, who has another year of eligibility left, who is, as we sit here on September, whatever the date is, the 9th, 7th, 6th, 5, 4, 3, whatever, is the consensus number 1 overall pick in the draft. And everybody thinks it's going to be Arizona. Well, there's a chance he sits out. He's making good NIL money, not NFL money, but NIL money, north of $1 million. And pretty good living at SC. The ladies are pretty. The lifestyle's fun. You win, right? And would he come back for another year at SC? And I remember you saying, no way, right? That it's not NFL money. You're right. But the NFL money is going to be there if he doesn't like the situation. The issue is, and his dad came out and said, basically, it's not a guarantee that my son Caleb is coming out this year. First shot probably at the Cardinals. But what's next year's bleep show going to be? Somebody's going to have the first pick. Now there's a chance it could be the Rams. Would he like that? But I mean, every year's got its own worst team in the league that's going to pick first.
The one that does stand out to me about Arizona is if you take a step back, like that ownership group is bad. There's problems with the Bidwells. I don't know how Steve Keim is still their general manager. I don't know how Duke could be suspended and get in trouble and still be there. Like there is too much buddy going on between the GM and the ownership group, and it's been a mess. And is it all Josh Rosen's fault? Is it all Kyler Murray's fault? Like that's an organizational issue at this point in time. And so they would be a team maybe I'd be a little bit hesitant looking at, because everyone screams, I don't want this guy as my owner. I don't want that guy as my owner. That's not a great place to be, but you start playing that game. And the one thing with Caleb Williams is you talk about it all the time. When other people start talking for you, it usually doesn't work out well.
Well, here's what Daddy said, quote, the funky thing about the NFL draft process is he'd almost be better off not being drafted than being drafted first. The system's completely backwards. It's like, wait, so is this guy is this LeVar Ball talking? The way the system is constructed, you go to the worst possible situation, the worst possible team, the worst organization in the league, because of their desire for parity gets the first pick. So it's the gift and the curse, end quote. Sounds like LeVar Ball. The system's not backwards. The system's set up for what? Is there a reason the NFL is the dominant giant in American sports? Because your team's got a chance to rebuild and parity, because the Jaguars, who were horrible a few years ago, are now considered a contender in the AFC, because the Bengals, who have been brutal for how many years, were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. No, the system's not jacked up. It's jacked up because now you don't want your kid going to that place. And he wouldn't be better off being, well, if there wasn't a slotting, if he wasn't drafted, he'd get free agent money. Although if he wasn't drafted, the free agent money that would come in would be just a bidding war on him. But this is the first shot. Like with all due respect, Mr. Williams, they're not changing the system because Carl Williams wants the system changed when his kid's coming out. His kid is in line to make a lot of money. And there's going to be bad, like you don't just get to say, there's 32 places in the world that you can work at that level. That's it. Right? You don't get to pick your situation your first time through. Now, is that imperfect? I mean, again, I'll ask the question, for whom are we doing this? Is it for the young man coming out of school? Or is it for the fan? Or is it for the parity of the league? It feels like it's working pretty damn well. Now, There's been Eli Manning and John Elway who stood up and said, I'm not playing for that franchise. You can try it. But I think there's a real chance. I think he'll come out if I was going to bet, but I wouldn't bet because I don't think it's a given. We talk some baseball when we come back. Ryan LaVarnway is going to be with us. 11 years in the big leagues with 9 different teams. You're going to hear him on the Isotopes broadcast with Josh Susha on the next few nights. Really interesting story, and I think you're going to enjoy his take. Plus, here we come down the stretch. He's a pretty good dude to talk to about some baseball. That's coming up next. Looking forward to talking to Ryan LaVarnway next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Isotopes have 2 homestands. Well, really kind of a little bit. What day? We played 2 of the 6, so 2.5. Homestand and a half left. And the regular season, you got a few more chances to go out and see them. Of course, the Sports Channel has been the home, the Isotopes, since their inception, and proud to be. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. It is Oklahoma City in town. Is that right? This week it's Reno in town this week. That's wrong. That's the wrong schedule. Reno's in town this week. And you're going to hear a voice on there that might be familiar to you. If you watch the Rockies games on AT&T Sportsnet, you might be familiar. Josh Lavarnway, a 11-year Major League, Josh, you're going to be with Josh. Ryan Lavarnway is going to be with Josh Sushan. An 11-year Major League veteran, played with 9 different teams, is going to be one of the voices. You've heard him on the pregame show on AT&T Sportsnet. And he's in studio with us. Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Welcome to town.
Yeah, thanks. I've never been here before.
What do you think? I mean,
So
you
far,
got a
so
Golden
good.
Pride burrito and some coffee, and you're hanging out with Fred. How bad can it be?
I have 2 burritos this morning because I had to do a little taste test, right?
Which ones did you do?
The 9 and the 10.
I do the 9 and the 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the 9's the green chili bacon.
Okay.
Right? That was a good one.
Well, since I have arrived at the studio, I was told the 11 is something to try, and now the 2. So maybe I'll have to go back tomorrow.
2's the carne adobada with egg and cheese. So it's like a pork and red chili.
Interesting.
No, it's a good one. How you digging this? You've turned the baseball career into a broadcasting career, which not an uncommon path, but not as easy as a lot of people want to tell you it is.
Well, the thing about talking about baseball in the clubhouse or with your family, your friends, it feels like a different planet when you start to do it on live TV and you start to do it in the booth. So there's definitely been a learning curve, but talking about baseball is one of my favorite things to do. So I've really been enjoying it.
What do you notice when you get into the broadcast and you're talking to the fans? Right? And there's a different perspective of how you need to present that as someone that knows the in and outs, but trying to present that to the fans.
Well, the biggest difference is that in the clubhouse, there's a lot more cursing.
Yes.
So when I'm presenting it on TV, you need to make sure that you clean it up a little bit. And the perspective that I can bring is, what are these guys thinking? What are they feeling? What are they anticipating? It's not just the X's and O's of what's happening on the field. People can see that with their own eyes, right? I respect that the audience knows baseball in their own right. I'm trying to bring more perspective on what's going on behind the curtain.
What's he thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Was he thinking 2 steps ahead?
Or like, why was that play that, on TV it looks like he should have made that play, or why are you swinging at that, right? Like, it's easy to say that when you're watching TV, but well, I can tell you he's swinging at that because he's anticipating a 98-mile-per-hour fastball in the hands.
And it came in at 70 on the outside.
And it had some nasty, wicked movement going away. Stuff like that.
Ryan Lavarnway is with us, a former big league catcher, first baseman, 9 teams in 11 seasons. Do you keep all the uniforms? Like, how much of all the 9 teams you played with, and I'm sure you can rattle them off, do you have a piece of gear from each team? Do you have something that you kept from everyone?
Yeah, I have a lot of the gear. I did a funny Instagram reel where I had a remote control in my hand, and I kind of clicked through them, and I switched uniforms every time, and that was fun. But I realized I don't have an Indians jersey. I somehow lost that one in the fold, but on my bookshelf behind where I sit when I'm doing podcasts or whatever, if I was virtual, you see I have all my batting helmets and all my catching helmets on the shelf behind me. And if people don't know my history or my career, they're like, oh, you must be a really big baseball fan.
No, those are all mine.
Yeah, I actually wore those.
What's the quickest turnaround? We hear all the time guys get traded.
Yeah.
Right? And a dude's playing in Denver one day, and 2 days later he's in Boston.
Yeah.
And I always try to tell the stories, but I've never done it. The human being. And whether you're single or you got a family to move, you got to pick up everything you know and be in a different. And then if you get traded to the Red Sox and they're playing in Detroit, how do you tell me about that process? Because that's got to be incredibly disruptive at the least.
So I've got two stories I'll tell you right now. I was playing for the Nashville Sounds, which was AAA for the A's at the time. It was 2017, I think, and we were playing in Colorado Springs. My cell phone was off at night, which is a big no-no when you're in AAA.
Right, because it can ring anytime.
Yeah, so the hotel phone rings at 7 a.m. and they're like, "Hey, you're not answering your phone." I'm like, "Get to the point. You just woke me up. What's up?"
Yeah, who are you?
They're like, "Yeah, how fast can you get to the Denver airport? We have a day game in Oakland today, and
you're in the big leagues.
And our other catcher just went on paternity leave overnight, so you're active for this game." So, I got woken up by the hotel phone. I drive to Denver. I fly to Oakland. I land in the 4th inning for a game I'm active on. I get dressed. I head out to the field. It's the 6th. I don't end up getting inserted in the game. I almost got inserted because there's a foul tip off the guy. And then after the game, we fly to Seattle, where I play the second game in Seattle, and then I'm taken off the roster because the paternity leaves over back to Nashville. So quick, you talk about a quick turnaround, bang, bang, bang.
So you got to travel light but heavy, right? You got to have everything you need but be able to move.
Yeah. So that was the call up I knew was going to be 3 days, and then I was returning back to the same team. There was an example of a time in 2019. I get my years confused. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
2019. I'm playing in AAA for the Yankees in Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of the TV show The Office, and I got released after a day game. Didn't see it coming. Totally blindsided. My car had a flat tire in the parking lot as I'm trying to leave. The next day, before I can even move out of my apartment, I'm in the big leagues with the Reds, and I have the best game of my life. But we had to move out of our apartment, break our lease. My wife drove with everything that we brought with us, the whole apartment. Our dog drove 9 hours, got to the game just in time to see me break a franchise record.
That's so cool.
Crazy.
That is so cool. He's Ryan Lavarnway with us on The Sports Animal. 9 years in the bigs, 11 years in the bigs, 9 different teams. You're going to hear him on the Isotopes broadcast with Josh Sushan over the next few days.
Well, that perspective is what you can bring, just the insane behind the scenes things that are going on, especially here at the AAA level, because we talk so much when we get a chance to talk with these guys before the season. The managers, they have no idea. Like the roster transactions are going to be in the hundreds. So how do you mentally prepare yourself kind of for life at the AAA level, knowing that it could go one way or the other?
Well, like you kind of alluded to it, you have to try to pack light, and you have to be able to roll with the punches, because you could get called up. There's a lot of guys that end up going back down, and you end up riding the roller coaster. When I was with Boston, the AAA team and the big league team were 45 miles away, so it's a drive. And a name you might recognize is Josh Reddick. When I first got to AAA, Reddick was like, "Hey, move in with me, man." He was so generous, so nice. He ended up getting called up the next day, and we were roommates that never saw each other because Boston and Pawtucket were on opposite schedules. So we ended up sleeping. We had a 1-bedroom. I took care of his dog while he was on the road, and he was back with the dog. And
Beautiful.
you got to be able to live in and out of a suitcase. Sometimes you just go where the bus is. You don't always know what city you're in. You forget what floor of the hotel you're on. But you remember when you wake up in the morning, the only thing that matters today is how I perform on the field at 6:30.
So a guy like you who, never knew how long you were going to be in a spot.
Yeah.
Does that help you with perspective doing AAA baseball? With these guys who are dying for that call that you got at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Like, get to the point. They would kill for that call one time, right? A lot of these. Does it give you a different perspective when you're calling AAA games?
It does. For me, I understand the ups and downs and the emotions that come with what these guys are doing, because any one game could be the game. Any bad game, you could be out on your butt the next day. You never know when it's going to be the last time. There's so many times that I was quoted in newspapers or on TV saying, like, I never knew if this was going to happen again. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And I know what comes with it because I did it so many times.
All right. We get a lot of people that we get correspondence. When is this franchise going to win? Not just even at the big league level, because I know you hear that, but down here, there are people, Isotopes have not been in the playoffs in a long time. Rockies have changed, at least rhetorically, the philosophy at the top. They want to win at the minor league level at AAA. And they had a rough first half. I guess they're still not out of it yet, but in contention. But you really need to start winning a bunch of games. What does it take to win at the minor league level, or is that even important at any franchise in baseball?
No, I think you're right. When I got drafted by the Boston Red Sox, winning was a priority at every level, and I think learning how to win is a skill. When I got drafted, we had Anthony Rizzo, Tim Fedorovich. We had all these pitchers. We ended up having a core group of 8 of us that came up through each level of the minor leagues together, and we won an A-ball, we won an AA, we won AAA championships, and then we won a World Series together. And you either know how to win games, or unfortunately, if you're watching Rockies games, they're finding creative ways to lose, which is
pretty good at it.
Which is sad right now. But I honestly, at the big league level, I think having potentially one of the worst seasons they've ever had could be a blessing in disguise. Because trying to win 75 games, trying to maybe make it to 500, you end up with a patchwork of guys like Jurickson Profar, who's not going to be the future of the Rockies. You end up holding on to guys like CJ Cron, who's not going to be the future of the Rockies. Now that the Rockies have been so bad this year, you can let the young guys play. You have Nolan Jones playing. You have Hunter Goodman playing. You have Brenton Doyle playing. You have Tovar, who played the whole year. And you're seeing what you've got against big league competition, because these young guys, as much as I love and appreciate AAA baseball, until you get them in the big leagues, in the home stadium, playing against quality big league teams, you don't know what you have in these guys yet. So having a terrible season early and letting the rookies play, seeing what you got, Nolan Jones has cemented himself as the future of this organization. You're going to build your team around him. Same with Tovar. Who else?
You're going to find, and this is how you find out.
So you got the baseball knowledge on lock. How did you get into writing a children's book?
Well, I didn't start trying to write a children's book. I was giving speeches around the country. I played in the World Baseball Classic, and I really kind of found myself as a person. I'm Jewish, but I grew up like half and half, so I didn't really lean into it. But playing for Team Israel, you can't hide it, right? So I really found who I was. I found my community, and there's a confidence and a self-assuredness that comes with knowing who you are, knowing who your people are, regardless of who your people are, right? But if you know who your people are, you feel more like you. So that experience was so transformational for me. I was giving speeches to communities, to adult audiences, and my rabbi was like, you need to give this message to younger people when they're really trying to figure out who they are and when this message can be received. And it took me 4 tries to get it right, and it took me having a daughter and reading her children's books to kind of understand the medium. But I'm really proud of where it's at. My illustrator is unbelievable, and it's a book that I'm really proud of.
What's it called?
It's called Baseball and Belonging.
Where can you find it?
It's on Amazon. It's on everywhere you find books online. If you want a signed copy, it's on my website, RyanLavarnway.com.
Spell it LAVARNWAY.
That's right, RyanLavarnway.com.
He'll be at La Cueva High School today, and you got a couple appearances around town. You'll be able to hear him on the radio with Josh Sushan. He's a former El Camino Real Conquistador, a former Yale Bulldog. I'm not going to go down all the baseball stuff. Do you have El Camino Real Conquistador stuff in your background too, and Yale Bulldog stuff, or just your big league stuff?
I won the NCAA batting title while I was at Yale.
That's a big
deal. So I've got the plaque for that. I got a MVP plaque from the WBC. I got my World Series ring. I got some cool stuff.
Man, we went to rival high schools, or at least it was a rival when I was there. He didn't care about us when he was there. Weren't that good. Hey, man, really enjoyed this. Could do this for a long time. Have fun with this. Best of luck. Josh is a good dude. You'll enjoy Josh a lot. And looking forward to hearing you on the radio over the next few days, and hopefully well beyond that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Former big leaguer Ryan Lavarnway with us. Red Zone is next. Kenny Thomas, former 11-year NBA guy, former Lobo great, at 9:30. We'll talk about the World Cup of basketball as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Your home for Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football.
Celebrate Cherry Fridays with the Sports Animal. Every Friday before.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point, Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, they slid out of going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that? Ethan Olguin. My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, he gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Lambrana. Cheeto makes one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Is that Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
That's Sweet Pete Jr. right
What
there.
a move there by Cheeto Lambrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades two. Breaking into the open, there's a block, bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
Happy with his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalia will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vicente Tafoya. Ryan Brown that punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it pay.
Right
No! LaQueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder. Kick is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Call that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs.
Kind of on fire today, huh? What have we had? 4 guests today? Everybody's been really
This is
good.
one of those things with the calendar. Like, wait a second.
Yeah,
how did this happen today?
And we still have Kenny Thomas to come. Tito Stafford was with us, and Michael Lombardi and Jerry Palm, and then Ryan LeBarnway. It was really good, but we got to do this because, well, we got to do this every day, and it's opening day of football. And couldn't go opening night of football without going into the red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's 1st and goal.
All right. The Detroit Lions hype train was rolling strong this offseason. Well, the regular season's finally here, and the first stop is in Kansas City. The Chiefs are currently a 6.5-point favorite. Who do you like tonight in the regular season opener?
I'll take 6.5 in the Lions. I think the Chiefs are probably going to win. Although, look, man, what are they going to look like? Everybody's telling me they're going to fall apart without Kelsey, just like everybody told me last year. They're going to fall apart without Tyreek Hill. And I was the one guy standing on the top of the hill saying, wait a minute. They lose a receiver and somehow they're going to fall off the cliff easy, and they won the Super Bowl. Now, Kelsey is a big hit if he doesn't play, and it feels like he's not. But I'm taking the 6.5 and the Lions for a number of reasons. A, the majority of NFL games are within 4 points, and every game NBC gets seems like it goes down to the wire. Like what they've got this golden horseshoe stuffed up their backside. Like they get great games, and they all go down to the wire. So I'll take the Lions and the points.
I'm right there with you. I cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes. I even picked him when they had no offensive line in the Super Bowl. I can't do it. I think the Lions cover, and Kansas City wins at home because Mahomes can make something out of that offense.
2nd and goal.
All right, speaking of this evening's game in Missouri, odds makers are expecting a shootout with the over-under set at 54.5. Are you taking the over or under on this one?
Over all day. Secondary of Detroit. Will they be better? Yes. Will they be better week 1? No. Give me all the points.
Thick number, I go over because no Chris Jones. Jared Goff has time to throw. Typically, the defenses are ahead of the offenses early in the season. I would go under. But again, showcase game, kickoff game, 2 high-powered offenses, 2 teams that have a lot to show off. I barely over, but over.
You remember the last time Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes met in primetime?
It was a Rams game. Was it 54-52? The Rams
Monday
game?
Night Football.
55-52?
It was insane.
Yeah. It was 50-something, 50.
Take the over.
Yeah.
3rd and goal.
All right, earlier, Michael Lombardi said it's okay to overpay great players, but what really hurts is when you overpay good players. Who is the most overpaid good player in the NFL?
Russell Wilson, isn't it? I mean, is he? I don't even know if he's good. I looked down the rosters and had it. His point was you cripple your franchise when you overpay a guy who's not worth that, and they overpaid Russell Wilson to a point where it feels like they can't pay anybody else. And I'm looking throughout the rosters, and I don't know that I think anybody else is close.
It's easy to look at the quarterbacks in that situation. If I'm going position players, I think the Chargers actually have 2 of them. And you look at highest contracts, you got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson.
That's good.
Some of the highest paid
really
players
good
at their position, and they haven't been on the field. And that's been the challenge with the Chargers is, all right, you paid the talent. They haven't been healthy, and those are the contracts that end up hurting you the most.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, one last time. It's September 7th, and the season starts today. Who would you rather be for the 2023 season, the Dolphins or the Jets?
So I'd rather be the Jets because is it me?
It is now.
Because I like people. I'd rather fly under the radar than be the when everybody's talking about it. I'm much more of a low key guy than a look at me guy. And I think while the expectations internally are probably why are you looking
You
at
think the Jets are flying under the radar?
more so than the Jets? Hell yes.
You said the Jets.
I said the Dolphins are flying under the radar more than the Jets. Or at least that's what I intended to say. You don't think the Dolphins are
That's
flying?
not what you said.
Okay, what I intended to say is the Dolphins are flying under the radar more than the Jets. And by the way, I can really make an argument that the Dolphins are better. Now, the Dalvin Cook addition might have put the Jets a little bit better, but I like the Dolphins defense not as much as the Jets. I just and the weather's better in Miami, and I don't have to live in New York City.
I do like that point at the end there. I'll go with the New York Jets. I think when Tom Brady is talking about Aaron Rodgers, he sees himself in Tampa Bay. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to show that last year was a blip on the radar and that he still has plenty left in the tank. And the team to be between Miami and the New York Jets is the New York Jets.
All right. Who'd you rather be?
I was thinking about that, and I think I'm leaning towards the Dolphins. The Jets' offensive line right now, there's a lot of questions. So there's a lot to like about both teams, but I do think Miami would be the one I'd lean towards.
Did you catch the end of Hard Knocks?
I did.
How about the 2 rookie receivers making it? That was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, I like how Smart got signed.
Brought back.
Yeah, that was cool. They did a good job wrapping that up.
Aaron Rodgers saw UFOs, and they tried to show me on video what he was talking about. Like they tried to create something.
That was unique. He heard the jets flying in the sky on his, what was it, draft night or the night before?
Yeah, for a dude who didn't want to do Hard Knocks. And remember, fine, we're just going to give him the most limited access, and he ate it up, didn't he? And by the way, good for him. But didn't he?
Oh yeah, that is not at all what I expected with how he reacted in the beginning. But.
So I'm going to tell you this, and we'll see what the season plays out. Hard Knocks will have no effect, as far as I'm concerned, on what the Jets are. But Aaron Rodgers played this thing as perfectly as he could. I don't know if somebody got to him and said, "Dude, like you can change your image, you can whatever." So I've read so many social media posts saying, "Damn it, I didn't want to like Rodgers. I hated him, and now I like him." I don't know if that's who he is. Okay. And he knew the camera was on the whole time, and there he is hanging out with the kids, whether it's at dinner, whether it's at the Broadway show, whether it's at practice, yucking it up, laughing, haha, teaching, mentoring Zach Wilson, all that stuff. But the image he portrayed is going to make him millions of more dollars. Like, he couldn't have played it perfectly. I don't know if that's that dude, and I don't know what happens if they lose to the Bills this week, and I don't know what happens if they start 1-3 and who that guy becomes. But the guy I watched for the last 5 weeks on Hard Knocks was a likable, professional, kind, thoughtful. Like, he couldn't have played it any better.
You're absolutely right about that. He changed his image in a very short period of time.
In a big way.
And you're right. He's going to make some money advertising. He seems like the perfect person to pitch virtually anything right now.
It was amazing. All right, when we come back, the World Cup of basketball is coming down. The USA did lose a game, but they are still alive. We can talk to former NBA great, former Lobo great, Kenny Thomas. He's got a big event coming up in town. Been doing a lot. I want to talk to him about the Lakers ads this week. Kenny does pregame stuff for the Sacramento Kings. What about the quiet Laker moves? And catch up with Kenny and what he's got going on. But I'm really excited to talk to him about what's going on in the NBA because we're inside of 2 months from that. That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Your home for Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football.
Want to get away?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Did you watch the Americans get beat over the weekend? Remember you told me nobody's going to care about the World Cup of basketball until the United States got beat, and you were so dead on right. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, that all of a sudden social media, I saw more, I can't get this text through to Kenny, more social media and more chatter on the World Cup when they lost than anything before they won.
Because we are not supposed to lose in basketball games ever if Team USA is across your chest.
It was amazing. Now the team they beat,
now, it didn't knock them out.
It did knock them out.
That's why there was reaction, but not the sky's falling.
Well, I mean they're still alive. They will play Germany next. It's interesting basketball. It's a team that I don't know how many people. Is this a sexy team to people? It's not all of your household names in the NBA, right? It's you gotta know the NBA a little bit to know this team, right?
You do. There's Anthony Edwards. I think he's the headline star, the superstar of this group. But you have your Brandon Ingram's in there, Jalen Brunson, and what's interesting to watch is this group go through the motions of trying to understand what international play is about. All these guys want to be the star. Anthony Edwards has already openly talked about how he balked at Steve Kerr asking him to come off the bench, because how dare Steve Kerr ask Anthony Edwards to come off the bench at a Team USA basketball event. It's a different vibe.
Well,
got to figure it out.
What do you think of Steve Kerr as an international coach? I mean, it's been Krzyzewski for so long, and it's been right.
Well, he's the exact guy you want in the situations. With Steve Kerr working with the Warriors, managing the egos, knowing what it's like when Kevin Durant came to town, you need that kind of guy for Team USA basketball.
Former Lobo great Kenny Thomas knows the NBA. He's part of the Sacramento Kings broadcast team. He's done so much, 11 years in the NBA. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. What's up, my friend? How you living?
Hey, man, I'm good. How about yourself?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Have you been watching the World Cup a lot? I'm going to assume you have.
Of course I have.
Yeah. What do you think of this team? Was it a wake-up call when they get beat the other day, or is that something to be concerned about? Because it's amazing. All of a sudden, people gave a damn once they lost.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people are going to care because it's the USA team. We're not supposed to win. I mean, we're not supposed to lose, excuse me. Especially the fact that the USA team is always stacked, but it's a different core of guys. And these guys, you got to keep in mind, are used to being the guy on their team. So it's a totally different situation when they have to come and play together for the better of the country. And, I mean, they are human, but once again, they are in contention for the gold medal. So I think they play again tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and they played Germany. You know, it's a different world than when you played. Americans owned this game, and now you look at and you get it. I mean, you're in the NBA, you watch it every day. The best player in the world, the best players in the world, you can make an argument with Giannis and Jokic and Luka, are not American players. Every team they go up against, there's really good players from all around the world now.
I mean, I think when I was playing, there's a lot of teams like the Spurs, like they capitalize on Tony Parker, they capitalize on Manu Ginobili. Like those were they were one of the teams that set the precedence as far as like having Europeans over. Obviously, there was others, but the European play right now is so diversified, and there's so many guys that are coming in at a young age and getting an opportunity to play in the NBA right away. Because if you remember, there was a lot of guys that came in when I was playing. Teams had their rights, and they really weren't playing. They were sending them back over to allow them to play with their countries or whatever to get better and kind of grow, and then they kind of have their rights. But now, man, it's a totally different game. Obviously, the game now is not as physical as it was when I played, but obviously I wouldn't know that because I'm not playing. But
you see it.
Being able to do the broadcasting for NBC Sports and being able to be around the game again outside of just doing my basketball tournaments for kids is good. I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah, he's former Lobo great Kenny Thomas with us on The Sports Animal.
Well, Kenny, you know this as well. When you guys get together for the basketball tournament, you're out there with the enchantment trying to put guys together. Egos are involved. How much is ego management part of it, too, when you're talking about Team USA basketball?
Great question, bud. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
That's an unbelievable question. Think about it. Like last year, coaching the TBT team, it was Lobos against Aggies here in the pit, and that was a totally different environment. It was a great opportunity to see some ex-Lobo players and some ex-Aggies play together. But this year, it was unique because we brought both together, and especially with the things that have happened as of late with State and Lobos, with some things that happened on the campus and with the basketball team and different things. So I think B. Mace did a great job of putting some pieces together. We made it to the Sweet 16. I was all excited, Jeff, when you sent me the text because I don't think a team in New Mexico has ever been to the Sweet 16, right?
Yeah, that was what I was saying. Does this count finally? The Lobos, New Mexico's finally got to the Sweet 16. Does it count?
Yeah, right. It was pretty exciting, but being able to do that coaching thing for the last 3 years, it's been something to where we progressively gotten better. And I'm really looking forward to next year. I think we had a lot of pieces to point to where we had some guys that were really athletic to protect the rim. We just didn't execute, and the better team got the better of us. They played at a high level that game.
Hey, if I'm not wrong, the two teams who played in the final are the two teams who beat you the last 2 years, right?
Yep. Because we lost to the team last year, LaFonso Ellis, and then this year it was the something green. I forgot
Bleed Green, or I think it was Bleed Green or something like that. Kenny Thomas, a former Lobo great. He's part of the Sacramento Kings broadcast team.
I love it when you say that, man. I appreciate you.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be true. Aren't you still the second leading scorer and leading rebounder in the history of that program? I believe it.
I think, yeah. I don't see anybody catching me anytime soon, hopefully, but Mashburn is back.
Boy, he's good.
So there's a strong possibility that could happen.
How good are they?
Charles Smith is still right there, too, so he's number one.
How good are they? And I know you watch your Lobos and what Richard's done and the portal and can turn it around. Everybody's excited about Lobo basketball, and I know you are, too.
I think everybody's excited about Lobo football right now. Obviously, the fact that the Lobos, they just played Texas A&M, and they did a lot of positive things out there. Hat off to Coach Gonzalez. But when it comes to Patino and the basketball team, it's been a grind, especially with the portal now to where, like you said, guys can pop in the portal like after 1 year. This is just a very unique time right now when it comes to giving college kids opportunities. If they're not comfortable in a situation, they have a chance to go to another one and then play right away. When I played, you had to sit out, I think, a year.
Yep.
So it was kind of huge to where you had to make a decision that was good, but sometimes that just didn't happen. And Mashburn, man, I would love to see him with the ball more, because he reminds me of his dad a lot. That mid-range game, not that he can't shoot the three, but I think he's way more aggressive with the ball off the dribble and different things like that. But I think they've added some length, and everybody's excited about the season this year. I know I am. I will be at some games this year, just like I was last year, supporting. And I'm tired of people talking about Aggies when they bring up Lobo basketball. I'm not used to hearing that crap, man. It kind of kills me, right?
I think a lot of
even
people
though the basketball team is gone.
A lot of people feel that way.
Kenny, you've experienced it firsthand. You know what this city, this state is like, what that arena is like when basketball is rolling. Now that we're starting to get some of that, and the crowds when the team was undefeated last year, what's it like being in that building with all that energy?
It was nice, even though when I played it was 18. Now it's down to like 15 something. It's nice because it was a while to where that place has been rocking. But the fact that the support was there throughout those big games against Iona, there were some other games in the conference that were really good games towards the end of the year, and then it's going to be nice to see how the Lobos start, and I know they're going to start off good. I mean, they started off last year going like 14, 15 in a row or whatever that was.
14.
But it's going to be a unique situation because when it comes to conference play, there's going to be a lot of teams coming for them, even though they are going to be the better team. It's going to be nice to see how they flow in the offense, getting up and down. I know House is a guy that's going to be a big piece, but I really want to see Mashburn with the ball more.
He's terrific, Kenny. Hey, I'm proud of what you're doing in this community. You're putting on tournaments. You're really, really active in this community, giving back. Kenny had an 11-year NBA career, done great things, but this has been a place that I know over the years means more and more to you. There's a golf tournament coming up a week from Monday to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Generational Empowerment. It's up at the Buffalo Thunder Toa Golf Course, and I want you to let people know what you're doing with that, how they get involved with this, and this is going to be a really fun day on the 18th.
Thanks for bringing that up, man, and the things that I am doing in the community. I appreciate that. I'm just getting started. Like you said, I am doing basketball tournaments throughout the state. I'm looking at doing some new stuff, probably coming up here and starting in December with some basketball things, and then it'll creep over into next summer, obviously. But I don't know if people know this, but there's a lot of boards that I'm on. I'm actually an ambassador for Make-A-Wish. I'm on the board for UNM Black Alumni. And at the same time, me being able to create this partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, Jay Albeda up north has been amazing as far as like putting this together. My good friend, County Commissioner Stephen Michael Casada, he would be the one that would be doing the comedy set on Sunday the 17th. Actually, the doors open up around 7 to where doors open up at 6 to where he'll be going on at 7. You can come purchase your tickets at Buffalo Thunder. And then on Monday, the 18th, Shotgun at 9 a.m., we're having, obviously it's for the Boys and Girls Club, and we're raising funds for them. Charles, I was going to say Charles Smith. I think he's coming.
Nice.
But nice. Clayton Shields is coming. Royce Only's coming. And then I'll have some other local celebrities and some people in the government that's going to be a part of it. And we're just going to build this out, and it's going to be an annual thing. And we did this in a matter of like 3-4 months. And the people that are coming out and supporting, one of my big sponsors, Capital Ford Santa Fe, thank you. Coca-Cola Santa Fe, thank you so much. And obviously, Buffalo Thunder, thank you for this opportunity to be able to have it at your course.
Kenny, can they sign up? Where should they go? Is it Buffalo Thunder's website? How do they find this? Because I think just to see Clayton and Spider and Royce and you and all those guys out there, I know for so many people it's going to be a big deal.
I appreciate that, man. Hopefully you guys can make it out, too. You're more than welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
I'll let you know about the VIP reception That starts a couple hours before that. I'll get you some passes and all that stuff. And if you want to come to the show, you know I got you.
Thanks.
At the same time, I would love to figure out something with you to where I might give away like 2 tickets to the comedy show if you guys want to advertise that.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
totally down
talk.
with that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. But how do people find out? Like, where's the website and so they can register?
It's kind of all over the place. So you can go to Capital Ford.
Capital Ford Santa Fe. Yeah, CapitalFordSantaFe.com. Yeah.
You can go to TOA's. I think they have a newsletter, but at the same time, my social media handle is Kenny Thomas NBA. On Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, it's Kenny Thomas. I'll be posting.
All right.
We have a link, and you can register for everything. Even if you don't golf, you can just come to the comedy show. And if you don't want to come to the comedy show, you can golf. But if you get a foursome for the golf tournament, you automatically get 4 tickets to the comedy show.
Perfect. All right, I'll let people know about it next week. I'll catch up with you. Always enjoy the conversation, man. I'm proud of what you're doing, and keep it up. And at some point, you're going to say yes when I call and say, hey, you want to play golf? I mean, at some point, you're going to
Man, it's been twice. It's been twice in bad timing. You know, I
know.
I can't wait, and I'm still here, too, so you let me know.
All right, I'll see you soon. Congratulations on all the success, buddy.
Thanks. I appreciate you both, man. You guys have a good one.
Be well. Kenny Thomas, one of the best to ever suit up as a Lobo. 11 years in the NBA and doing good things in our town. We'll wrap it up, get you what you need to know when you come back on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
As you go through your day, they're going to be talking about the Chiefs and the Lions tonight. 6.5-point dogs are the Lions. No word this morning any more than what we heard yesterday on whether or not Travis Kelce will play. I haven't heard anything on your boy Kadarius Toney either, by the way.
I think Tony's playing. He might be just limited because he didn't see a lot of training camp.
All right. People will be talking about the money that Kim Mulkey's getting. Who is Kim Mulkey? She's the LSU women's basketball coach who has just agreed to a 10-year, $32 million contract. $32 million will be the richest total contract in women's college basketball history. That's what happens when you win and you are at a school that there's a whole lot of money. Matthew Stafford said he's not too worried about what his wife had to say. The Rams have moved on. He said, but it turns out you can't even find a newspaper around here, so I couldn't do that. I was trying to have some fun with it. He was trying to get rid of it. So the Rams, he thinks, are going to be just fine. That's what people are going to be talking about. I think those are your headlines as we head into, I don't know, the first night of football in the National Football League that matters. How many Chiefs or Lions do you guys have on your fantasy teams tonight?
Not enough.
Jared Goff.
Playing him?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
I'm debating on Kadarius Toney as my flex.
Okay.
Even in limited reps, they scheme it in the game. Can you get 50 yards and a touchdown out of him in week one in that offense? You know, there are a couple of teams this year where you want a piece of the offense. And so that's why, you know, in fantasy football, if you're in a 10-team league, like everyone should be pretty darn good this year.
I'm in a 14-team league with 17-man rosters, man. We're deep.
Yeah.
All right, I got one. Well, I mean, Kelce, if he plays, you say play him, right?
You have to. He's your first-round pick.
Well, but whatever. I mean, if he's going to give you fifth-round pick numbers and somebody gives you better numbers.
Who?
Who on that team? Christian Watson.
I mean, tight end-wise.
Oh, no, I don't have to play tight end. I got a flex. My question is Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Do I play him as a flex? My option would be playing Miles Sanders. So would you play Christian Watson and DJ Moore ahead of him? You would.
Yes.
All right. And then I'm going to play Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. Yeah. Do you play Miles Sanders or do you play Marquez Valdes-Scantling?
If Kelce is out,
yeah, it's a gamble.
I'm okay with Sky Moore, Valdes-Scantling, even Kadarius Toney if you're talking wide receiver 4 or flex.
Rashee Rice. You like Rashee Rice?
Take your chances. This is the time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Take your chance on Scantling. Yeah. Do I take a chance there or go with another RB1?
In that situation, I'm probably going RB1.
Sanders, right? So yes. I'm making that right. I mean, Scantling, you just don't know.
And if you're trying to enter the roster, you're looking for a wide receiver 3, you're looking for a flex this week. Like now where I would be okay taking the chance if Travis Kelce is out of the lineup.
Valdes-Scantling or Pickens? George Pickens.
I'd go, if Kelce is playing, probably go Pickens.
If Kelsey's not?
Valdes-Scantling.
All right.
I'm taking Pickens either way.
I think I might too. That's why I don't have Valdes-Scantling in my lineup. We're going to sit here tomorrow and go, what an idiot. How did you not play that guy? Yeah. Dude caught 8 balls for 117 yards and 2 scores.
If Kelsey's out, someone's doing that.
Well, somebody is.
Pickens, I think he's the line to have a solid season. They're also opening up at the 49ers.
I know. That's why I'm not playing him. That's why I'm playing DJ Moore and Christian Washington. Christian Watson. Christian Washington plays for the Locals.
But if you have an or in the Pickens situation, I am taking into account they're playing a really good defense week 1.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers offense is going to take big steps forward, but you still got Deontay Johnson to feed, Pat Freiermuth to feed.
I get it.
Against a good defense, it's asking a lot out of George Pickens.
All right. So Scantling, if you don't have a better choice, I just feel like I do. So I agree with you guys. Somebody's going to get theirs tonight. And I could even see a situation where they throw Kelce out there as a decoy in the first half where he's running routes and he's feeding someone else because he's just not ready to go. I can totally see that situation because I got to believe the Lions are.
You want to play the smart game with Travis Kelce?
Well, of course.
Week 1, you get 10 days to game 2.
So if I don't have to play him now, I've basically got 14 days. You get 2 full weeks for him to rest from when he got hurt, right? He got hurt on Tuesday, so almost 2 weeks. All right, so are we all on the Lions to cover, the Chiefs to win, or are you on the Lions to win?
I am right now on the Lions to win.
Okay. I don't think it's absurd. History, numbers, if you like the stats, tell you there's no way the Lions win. The Chiefs don't lose home games to NFC opponents. They just flat out don't. Now, Kelsey out, if Tony's not 100%, the best pass rusher they have is not playing. They're hampered. Hampered? Is that what you put your clothes in? Like your dirty clothes, the hamper? Is hampered the right word there? Hamstrung? What am I looking for? Whatever. You see what I'm saying? Dear Jeffy, dear old Jeffy was quite correct. If I didn't want to hear his hypocritical BS I heard on KNMM, I could go elsewhere and listen to Jeff often use dismissive whatever. Okay, I'll end with that.
Go walk, dude.
What a show.
Clear
we
your
had
mind.
today. What a show. Thank you to Tito Stafford, Michael Lombardi, Jerry Palm, Ryan Lavarnway, Kenny Thomas. All that's available for you where you get your podcasts. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. NFL football tonight on the Sports Animal after 2 Men On. 2 Men On at 4. Isotopes over on KTBL. We got NFL football for you here, and then we're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Big day?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Big day for you? Enjoy it. Adrian, great work. We'll see you tomorrow. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. So what is this?
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.